Hello.
Hey, welcome back to the part 2 of this fantastic ride that we're in for. This is
What up?
old joke is old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Scary Movie? It's better than you think.
Damn, son.
Go rewatch it. It's good.
Do you know that I used to hate it? I used to not want to watch it.
You told me that.
Because there was drugs, sex, rock and roll.
Sounds like you would want to watch it.
But now it's really good, actually.
It's not rockin'. What are you talking about?
It's
rock and
good.
roll.
It's the fifth one I didn't like.
Fifth one I didn't like. Needed Anna
It was
Faris
not
in
good.
it.
Everything needs Anna Faris.
Okay, so no, just the scary movies.
And Kristen Stewart. Hello. Hello, anybody out there?
7 days. Okay, so this is gonna be your take on what the Fantastic Four reboot should have been.
So there was a Fantastic Four movie that we just reviewed that was really bad.
Yeah, it took us an hour to talk about it, apparently.
And this is going to be shorter, I hope, because I'm going to have to animate this. It was it was really bad. It had a script written by some guy named Slater who had, from what I read today, had a 121-page script. And it would have been like a 3-hour-long movie, but it still would have been really interesting. And then Josh Trank and some other dick got a hold of it and hacked it up.
Simon Kinberg, I think.
Yeah. And then Fox got a hold of all that. And I think Trank was difficult, probably. And then Fox got involved and did a whole bunch of reworking of stuff. There's scenes in the movie, it turns out, like when they're running back to the shuttle. Mm-hmm. According to the original script, they were being chased by Galactus. That's why everything was going to hell. Like, they're on the planet, and the planet starts to erupt and go crazy. And you're like, why? Galactus was chasing them, apparently.
See, their reason was they planted a flag in the ground.
Yeah, so there's... And so...
I know who the true villain is.
Yeah, me.
Flag.
Batman. So, I don't know anything about comic book movies. I'm at the age now, even though I'm a child of the 90s.
65.
I don't get it anymore. I don't even like it that much. I loved Watchmen. Watchmen, I think, was a work of art. I think that dude that did Watchmen...
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and Man of Steel.
Zack Snyder.
I think the guy is a genius. And I know a lot of people dislike what he does, but damn, his stuff is interesting.
Yeah, you don't see people ripping on Christopher Nolan for being dark and thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Come on, guys. And so, here's my take on the movie, which is not that different than the script that Slater guy wrote. And I'm going to need your help because it's hard to... You're trying to follow a comic book, but if you follow it to the T, it becomes stupid and campy, like Batman and Robin.
Or the 2005 Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So you have to actually do what Nolan did in some ways and say, you know what, we got to get a lot of this bullshit out of here.
Yeah.
We'll keep the idea of Batman, but we're not going to be stupid crazy. Like the Joker's not going to be Nicholson. He's going to be a psychopath who is like,
a worthy foe.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing is the cast.
Yes.
The cast didn't work for me. It just didn't work. I didn't like them. They might be talented, and as we said, Miles Teller's a talented drummer. My cast
and that's it.
Would be Sue Storm. I thought long and hard about this. Really long and really hard.
Please.
And it was Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
It just has to be.
Yeah, of course it does.
She has to be in everything.
Yep.
Call me Kristen. Mr. Fantasy. I wrote down any black guy, like Don Cheadle.
Slowly rotating black man.
You know what? They took a chance in making Michael Jordan Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Cool. Why can't he be Mr. Fantastic? Why can't he be the genius?
I thought he would have been good.
Yeah.
Probably.
They always take the black guy and they go, well...
Let's make him a side character.
Yeah, let's make him a side character and make him a guy who drives faster, plays basketball really well. Let's make him the genius. So he's Mr. Fantasy.
He grew up in the ghetto.
Yeah, he's
dog.
In the ghetto.
The boys in the hood.
in the ghetto. And then Black Johnny Storm... No, it's just Johnny Storm now. Is going to be played by Dave Franco.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy too much, but you know what? He looks like a troublemaker.
Yeah. He looks like the kind of guy who, like, would play pranks.
He reminds me more of the 2005 Fantastic Four's Storm.
Yeah, like the prank
Captain
womanizing
America pranky guy.
Womanizing troublemaker that he is.
Yes. So that's those. Oh yeah.
Don't
then
forget
there's
about the
Ben Thing.
Ben.
I chose Taron Egerton.
Eggsy.
Eggsy
from Kingsman.
Yeah, great movie. We should review that at some point.
He just needs like an American accent, like like Rick.
And if you've watched any
Dead.
TV or movies,
just watch Walking Dead.
It's all done by Brits now.
Yeah, Man of Steel. Henry Cavill's British.
Yeah, he probably has a British accent in Man from U.N.C.L.E., I think.
No, he plays an American.
He plays an American.
He plays an American.
Interesting. So pretty much everybody is British.
He's like, "Hi, Freeze.
Yeah.
I'm Batman."
We didn't know who to make Ben Thing.
It's George Clooney.
I wanted Corky from Life Goes On, but Chase said that is not only racist, it's wrong on a lot of levels. Apparently,
I don't know what you're talking about because I'm too young, I guess.
Corky. So Dhoom, get this, guys.
Yeah.
You've seen these two together before.
You spelled it dhoom.
Dhoom, and they were magic together.
Nah.
And they magic again. Robert Pattinson.
It's about as much
Pattinson.
It's about as much magic as being fisted by a gorilla, but yeah, sure.
Well, don't knock it until you've been fisted by one. Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, Storm and Dhoom together again. Robert Pattinson, as much as I don't care for him, he is...
That actually kind of works.
He's cocky. All cock, man. All cocky.
All shovel face.
All shovel. All day. All night. He's got a face that...
You just want to hit.
It goes all day. He's got a face for the mask.
Yes. You just want to cover it up.
Yep.
Okay, let's get
that's my cast.
Let's get into the story.
Yeah, we've only got like 3 minutes left because I don't want to animate this. So the movie starts not where you would think it starts, but sort of where you think it starts. It starts with Reed as a kid at a high school science fair. We're gonna start at the science fair.
How old would you say?
I don't know. How old's a high school kid? 16?
I don't know.
Something like that?
Sure, I guess.
Trying to demonstrate some device he's created that can create tiny wormholes. He creates these teeny tiny little wormholes where he sends things through.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come back, sometimes they disappear.
Like how tiny? Like the size of my arm or like a grain of salt? Or
the size of a really large piece, like a large granule of gravel.
So like a rock?
Like the size of a rock. Because if he tries to create anything too big, he sucks down too much energy. So he's doing it, and Homer Simpson is watching, and they're like,
gotcha. So
he's like, check this out, and it's like sucks down all the juice in the whole place, and it just
so
and
it's like,
and he's like, damn, because you see he's got like 15 power bars, and he's using power from everywhere, and
okay.
He just.
But does he steal a kid's model airplane?
No.
Okay.
Because he's not that.
He's not a jerk.
He's not that much of a jerk.
You want him to be likable.
I didn't understand that scene. Do you have the car? I don't have the car. Where's the car? Come on, whatever. That adds nothing.
You didn't bring the car?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ben Thing is there. They don't know each other.
Yes.
He's doing some ridiculous experiment. He's comparing the sizes of rocks, or he's
comparing like color of rocks.
Yeah.
He's like, I like orange the best.
Yeah. He's into rocks.
He's a geologist.
Yeah. What was? Remember in Breaking Bad, that stupid bald guy got into rocks.
They're minerals.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, they're minerals. And that's Taron Egerton. But he's like a muscle guy and so he likes to work out. So he's and he ends up like getting second place or third place because
rocks.
Because it's rocks, and Reed doesn't do.
And
very
he
well.
has the rock there.
Yeah. Yeah. So after the fair,
he works out with the Rock.
I would have liked to have had.
Come on, Dwayne, let's hit the gym.
Chickless back is the thing, but
young Ben Grimm is Chickless.
You know what? I don't like the young guys. The guy that should have been Mr. Fantastic is Bruce Campbell, or even Dhoom.
Bruce Campbell is Dhoom.
Bruce Campbell could have played 2 roles, Fantastic and Dhoom.
Oh yeah,
he'd be awesome.
Just need to change his hair color.
Yeah, he's just a little. But you know what? He has the gray going on the sides like Mr. Fantastic does in the older things. So it's kind of unfortunate that
his career is awful.
Is it really?
I mean, he does all those B movies.
Yeah, he could have been a mainstreamer. So I don't know. So they're leaving the fair, and these kids decide they're going to pick on Reed because Reed's just this, who plays Reed again? Mr. Fancy? Some black guy.
Just any black guy.
So, yeah, so he's getting
Is it wrong of me that I keep picturing a white dude? I'm like, yeah, okay, Mr. Fantastic. I'm like, white dude, but...
I know, isn't that interesting? Like, do you think that people...
It's so ingrained in us.
Yeah, people manage to get past Johnny Storm, but not a lead in that. I don't think they could.
I'd be okay as long as he's like charismatic enough.
Yeah,
like Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I think he did. So he's getting picked on.
Yeah,
and he goes and
is he being picked on by gang members because he's in the ghetto?
Yeah, it's a
Is it Ice Cube's son?
It's a lesbian cheesecake cult. There's a bunch of lesbians
and neo-Nazis.
They're skinhead lesbian Christian fundamentalists. No. And he takes a basketball and throws a 3-pointer because we have to go stereotypes.
Yes.
Just kidding. So he's getting picked on by some random hillbillies, and Ben comes along and helps, takes care of these guys.
He roughs them up a bit.
Roughs them up. He helps Reed.
Some mega wedgies.
And then they have a friendship after that.
Yeah.
Then next thing, I wrote they forged a strong homosexual bond. Homosexual bond. They don't. However,
I would okay with that.
My Mr. Fantasy,
Mr. Fantastic.
My Mr. Fantastic is actually gay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh.
Let's have. What the heck?
Hey.
Hello? Yeah. Come on in. We're only recording. You know what? We got a. What do we have so far? We have a woman. The first time we've had a woman in a movie ever. Black guy. A shovel face.
And
we got to have a homosexual Mr. Fantastic.
Homosexual lead.
So he's actually a black homosexual, which is wow. This is amazing. This movie is cutting edge.
It's revolutionary.
It is. But Ben isn't. So they're just friends because somebody's gay doesn't mean that everybody's. So in college, Reed is into science things. And
couldn't you just say he's into like quantum mechanics or something?
I would agree that he's into something really deep because
that sounds really smart, but
brilliant.
has nothing to do with wormholes.
Reed is brilliant, and his professors recognize, which to me makes more sense than him being discovered in a bloody science fair
at like 17.
At 17, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So he's in college, and Ben is there also, but Ben's into athletic things
and rocks.
Yeah, he likes rocks. Reed has a poster on his wall of a cat holding on to one of those bars, and there's a thing, and the cat's arms are all stretched, and it says, "Keep stretching, mate," is what it says. So there's a lot of little pokes here to...
Boy, I thought you said you wanted to make it less campy.
Well, this is actually a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Because we talked about how
So it's like cheesy.
I guess. I don't know. I thought that was pretty slick. There's got to be little pokes to things. Ben and his rocks, Reed and his stretchiness.
It's not very subtle.
No, but it does become a horror. They meet Dhoom. They meet Victor von Dhoom, he's an arrogant Latvian. He was raised by miserable gypsies and has a chip on using both of his shoulders.
Yeah.
He is arrogant, I already said that, and trying to create a transporter or some sort of gateway to allow him to communicate with the dead.
A gate? way.
Doom. We never are sure of Doom's sexuality.
No, in the comics he likes Sue, which is why I said it would work that it's Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Really?
Yeah, they have a thing. Yeah, but
no. In my version, Kristen Stewart is left alone by every man. No one touches her. No one is allowed to. She's sacred. In my version, Doom is asexual. So
there's just many dooms.
Yeah, many dooms. He's arrogant and trying to create... Okay, I already told that.
Is he raised by gypsies in the comics?
He is, actually.
Really?
I know you laughed. You thought it was insane.
That sounds like the dumbest thing.
That's why I said if you were to
comics
follow...
are nonsense.
He was raised... He's Latvian. Whatever the hell that is.
It's like a fictional country.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe. East Bloc. He explains that when he was in his mom's womb, she touched the nether region, and it awoken his consciousness. That is also part of his lore.
What the hell does that even mean? You spelled awoken wrong. You spelled it Auken. Auken?
He apparently
touched his nether region like his...
Doom. I'm gonna apologize for the creaking. My chair is under immense pressure. He apparently Doom doesn't really have... Like, in all the movies, he's got all these crazy powers, but he's a genius, mostly. He's one of the smartest guys. But he has various mystic powers.
Gypsy powers.
Yes. He is on a very similar level as Doctor Strange.
Okay.
He can conjure things, so he has, magical powers.
Magic.
But he gets them from his nether regions.
From
the other side.
From his dick?
Yeah. So he has to communicate with the other side to get these powers. So he creates a link between the consciousness and the netherworld. So that's what he's trying to do. Because of what his mom did when he was in the womb. So he has some little evil monkeys inside of him to begin with. But this Doom also loves the way he looks. He's always looking at himself, always doing his hair, because Robert Pattinson is like, I'm doing my hair.
Comparing his face to a shovel.
Yeah, he's like, he goes up to like Mr. Fantastic, and he's like, I'm so hot. Doom and Ben do not get along. They just don't, because Doom's like...
Well, it's in the comics, isn't it?
Yeah, Doom is like, you're just stupid with your stupid rocks. Stupid. They don't get along, and Ben...
Rocks are for nerds, nerd.
Yeah, and when... you nerd, because he's English. And at one point, Ben fiddles around on Doom's computer, and when Doom goes to use his
smashing
machine...
it with rocks and stuff. He's dropping a pile of rocks.
He's typing away with his fat thing fingers, and he's not even the thing
rocks.
Yet. Yeah. Taron Egerton. They're all speaking British, whatever... The oldie English.
Old E.
and Ben messes his machine up, and then when Doom goes to use it, it backfires or explodes or does something and severely injures Doom, injuring his face. He gets really bad burns and stuff, and he's gone. Suddenly he's gone. Months pass, and Reed... Oh, wrong keyboard. Reed is... Oh, totally... Hang on.
Technical difficulties.
Scroll. Wow, my God, my script is long.
Wow.
Months pass, and Reed is offered a chance to work for Baxter Company. I hate the name Baxter, but whatever. He accepts as long as Ben goes. He's like, if I'm going, Ben goes too, because Ben's my buddy. That makes sense to me.
That makes so much more sense.
Because he's like
shoehorning him in.
Yeah, because he's like, if you're gonna have me come here, I want my buddy Ben to come along. Ben can, you know what?
He's gonna carry all my rocks.
He's gonna carry rocks, and one thing about Baxter Company is they do space exploration. They train astronauts. Ben can help train people to become physically prepared for space travel, because Ben is...
Maybe that's how he gets his powers, because he goes to the planet and he's so interested in rocks that he picks up the rocks.
Hells yeah.
Oh,
see, you know what?
It comes full circle.
I mean, guys, is it that hard to write a script?
Yes.
Actually, it is.
Why does that word say ungay?
Okay, hang on. Months pass. There they meet Sue and Johnny Storm, who are related.
Yes.
And both white this time.
Okay.
Because, and I don't care about old Mr. Storm, gravelly voice guy. Sue is, I don't know what Sue's knowledge is, to be honest with you. I know Johnny is an engineer of sorts or something, so they're both engineers of sorts.
He seemed kind of dumb in the 2005 one.
Yeah, they didn't. Sue Storm is used a lot in mine.
I don't know if she's smart or not.
Apparently Sue. What did I read about Sue? She does have
the ability to cook.
She has an extraordinary intellect for memorizing recipes. I don't know. I can't remember. But she's not used properly. They also meet Dhoom, who has been working there. So Dhoom has been there since Dhoom has a bad facial issue from the explosion. Yeah. I would assume that means scarring. I'm reading my own script, and I'm not sure what I mean. So I guess he's scarred up.
So he's, like, badly burned, I guess.
So now every time Dhoom looks in a mirror reflection, he sees his face, which is now messed up, which would explain why he wants to cover it in something, right?
Oh, okay.
So he blames Reed and Ben won't confess, which is, according to the comics, Ben did screw up.
I like where this is going. This is much more exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't even have to have action as long as it has a compelling story. Which, again, Zack Snyder had compelling stories. Because Reed is gay,
and good action,
he immediately zones in on Johnny, who is also gay. His gaydar.
And they click penises together. Like Lego. It's a click.
You didn't get to the part where they duct tape them together to get closer. No.
It's like a little electrical spark between them.
I would assume that when two people, even gay people, straight people, see each other and they click, these two, I guess, click at some point.
Okay.
So, I make it I make it look as if they have a name tag that says, "Hi, I'm Johnny, I'm gay." They don't. It's just they just.
So is Johnny a womanizer, or is he pretending to be a womanizer to hide the fact that he is truly gay?
I don't have Johnny as anything, actually. I have him.
So he's just like blank slate. He just kind of appears and he's gay.
Who is Johnny? Dave Franco?
Yeah, Dave Franco.
Yeah, I have Johnny as... Johnny is apparently a race car driver. So I have no problem with Johnny having a fast car, being... and women can be interested in him, sure. They're interested in him, but that's not his thing.
But he's just kind of like, haha, yeah, okay. And then he just kind of drives away. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They're calling him all the time. He's like, yeah, I gotta put you off again, babe, and whatever. He just
because he's gay.
Yeah, and immediately he likes Reed. And Sue and Ben end up having a thing because they're ungay, and
yeah, that's where the ungay part comes in.
And they flirt a lot.
Well, I think you missed. Sue and Ben, being the only ungay people, enjoy each other's fluids.
I don't really. I don't know about that part.
Dhoom is alone because he's a jerk.
Yeah, he's asexual and a jerk mostly.
And he's horribly disfigured now, so no woman would want to get with that.
Yeah, like I feel that the whole idea of Dhoom...
So he's like a bad person in and out.
Yeah,
like
he had evil inserted into him from the womb. And Dhoom is a jerk, but to me it really devalues Dhoom's significance when they say, "Oh, he's just a jerk because he likes Sue and can't have Sue." Dhoom is so smart and arrogant. I don't think he cares enough about that. I think he cares more about his look. And one thing I forgot to put in here is in the script that Slater wrote, he is sending Reed's work back to his country of Latvia to try to recreate this device they're building. Oh. So that's also in my script. So he's using Reed's information to send it back so he can create a wormhole of his own. He's trying to replicate it. He's just stealing.
He's stealing it to try and build his own wormhole
But that's what Dhoom does, because Dhoom does take people's stuff and uses it for his own purposes. So together they build the contraption that creates a wormhole. So they manage to devise something that creates a bigger wormhole.
They send a probe. You forgot the E.
Yeah.
They send a probe, and they get some sweet pics.
So they get pics of a planet. So they're able to see a planet.
Is it like ground level, like it was in Fant4stic, or is it like just floating around?
I like to think it's above the planet, because it really bothered me the fact that they can be sitting in the room and they can be transported to be sitting on a planet. It just didn't make sense to me. The whole idea of being transported from Earth to a place and then somehow getting back again didn't make sense. The idea of opening a wormhole makes sense to me, but if you're going to open a wormhole, you need to send something big like a ship through it.
Yes.
Because I would think that the wormhole, you'd want it out in space, because they actually don't know where this wormhole comes out. That's why they send a probe, and they find out, oh, the wormhole comes out just above this planet. So they can see the planet. Next step, they need to create the wormhole out in space above Earth's atmosphere, big enough to send a ship through. And they have actually built the ship. So they built a massive ship. I think this is very much like the 2005 one where they were in a shuttle or something.
They were in a space station.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do have a space station. I've got a device sitting out in space that's enormous.
It's in the backyard right now.
Yeah, it engulfs, or it encloses this sphere, which is the wormhole.
Okay.
So the wormhole outside of Earth is big enough to put a ship through.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
So they have this big ship, and they have to train to go through, because the Fantastic Four and Doom need to go through their astronaut training so that they can actually take this trip, but they also send 2 real astronauts to fly the ship.
2 astronaut pilots.
There's astronaut pilots.
Because they didn't have enough time to train them how to fly it properly.
Exactly. So they are sending them there to do research on this planet. They go through the wormhole, end up above this planet. Part of the ship breaks off, as it's supposed to, comes off, and that goes down to the surface.
Okay.
Because you can't have the entire ship go down, because then how would you get back off the surface with this big ship? So they send this little ship down, but they have problems, and they sort of kind of crash land, and they lose the ability on the ship to get off the surface. So the ship is broken down on the surface.
So the
of
other
planet.
ship's just kind of like circling the planet, kind of just floating around it, and the little probe thing is like on the surface.
Yes.
Okay.
This is where I'm going to have problems, because now they're going to explore the planet, which is really a cool planet, and that's one thing we didn't get to see in the movie, which is unfortunate. We saw a lot of green screen, but apparently in the script that Slater wrote, when Doom was left there, he had created this huge castle structure. Like, he actually had this massive home he built and stuff. Like, there was all this stuff that Doom had done. You never get to see any of it.
Huh.
So this planet would have been really cool. So in my script, I imagine them all embarking to do research, wander around maybe in pairs or whatever, and that's where my script kind of falls apart, because then I started to think, well, maybe they come across a crashed spacecraft, and inside there's this giant 10-foot tall humanoid creature encased in some sort of a pod,
like Prometheus style.
but not like Prometheus. And they also find a room with these vases with this black goo coming out.
Like Prometheus.
No, but different.
Okay.
They release the creature,
and
he goes, "I'm going back to Earth to destroy it," and they have to stop him. Completely different than Prometheus.
Okay.
And there's an alien in it.
Okay.
So this is the part where I have a problem, because
Maybe I can.
this is where I need your help. So they're out and about, and the planet is hostile, meaning there's volcanoes going off, there's electrical storms and stuff. The way that these guys get their powers, as far as I'm concerned, has everything to do with their interaction with the planet. Mostly.
Yes.
Except for Ben. I still like the idea of Ben being in a transporter with the rocks and having his molecules fused with the rocks. I still would like to see that happen.
Kind of like The Fly.
Exactly. What I'd like to see happen at some point, I think I wrote down here, that when they went to Planet Zero in the comics or something, or in the script, they came across a coliseum that actually had remains of bones and stuff of whatever people lived there. So they actually end up on a planet that actually had inhabitants on it. But I'd say they'd be alien inhabitants.
Okay.
And Galactus is actually on the planet. Well, there's all these characters, Galactus, Annihilus, all these different people. The problem with Galactus is he's a planet eater. And he's near impossible to stop. So I thought, well, we could call him Galactus. We could call him anything we want. But maybe they come across an alien on the planet that says he's the last of his kind.
You could just make up a new villain.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't need to be a well-known.
And he says he's the last of his kind on the planet. And he says he has technology, but he doesn't have the ability to get off the planet. Dhoom has the knowledge.
So the alien can speak English?
You know what? That's something I was thinking about. Is that boy, how should I have this alien communicate? Maybe
it's like telepathic.
I thought about that. I thought about having the alien just talk into their heads, which would work great.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because then they could hear whatever in their heads. That would work too. So
right.
I'm struggling with this part of it, of course. Meanwhile, they're exploring the planet. Reed ends up in this goo that he ingests and stuff.
Like this, like,
elasticy
of
stuff.
Sticky kind of goo.
I imagine him falling into it and slowly sinking as if he's in quicksand. And he can't get out of it. And he's like, I can't get out of this.
But it's kind of like gum in the fact that it sticks to you.
And he's slowly going, and you see his hand go under the water. And you see his hand slowly come out and grow longer
and, it just
and
keeps
longer
stretching
and
out.
longer until he grabs hold of something and just starts pulling himself out. That'd be kind of neat.
That would be neat.
Because then But I really want to see the stretchy guy do stretchy things in this. Because you didn't get to see that in the movie. Because you see the comics, it's like the guy said, he's bloody stretching all over the place.
Yeah, I think he defeated Galactus. He like completely stretched all around Galactus. Like he was massively stretched.
Yeah, so he can do all kinds of stuff. So he can stretch himself out of it. You know, at one point, Johnny Storm can fall down a crevice into what looks like lava, and basically appear to burn up. And then later on, you see him crawling out of it, and he's just like in the movie where he's on fire, and he's screaming, and he's crawling because he doesn't know he can fly yet. All he knows is I'm on fire, just like that comedy. I'm on fire, and he's crawling out of it.
Yeah, superhero movie.
Yeah, but he's on fire. So I mean, there's all kinds of really crazy things this planet could do to these guys. This Galactus character, I want him to be he's powerful, but he can also kind of shapeshift. Apparently Galactus can also shapeshift. And he's trying to use them so he can get himself off the planet.
But he's not smart enough to do it.
He doesn't know how to. Dhoom knows how to do it, and he can do it with the technology this guy has. Dhoom finds an armament that was the civilization that was there before. Yep. The armament had what? Had armor. Metal faceplate. He finds armor that ends up being his suit. He sees the mask, and he sees a reflection of his face, and you see him put the mask over his face.
I like the idea of him having like a green sweater, but he's like out on the planet so much that it gets kind of like torn to shreds, and that becomes his cloak.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah, because it's kind of hostile. He's out working. He's got this hood on and everything.
Yeah.
But he also finds this armor. He realizes at some point along the way that this Galactus, the planet has energy. He needs energy to get this probe working. He can't get the probe working, but he figures he can come up with a way to transport somebody, like you were talking about transporter, from the probe location back to the ship. That's what he thinks he can do. So he's trying to work this out. He tries to use the power that's coming just from the planet. He wants to try it. Ben says no. If something goes wrong with Dhoom, they'll never get off the planet. So Ben says, I'll do it.
Oh, but he forgets he has rocks in his backpack.
He has rocks, and it fails. It starts to transport him, and he runs out of juice. And Ben comes back. Ben gets really, really sick, and he starts to change, but it's slow.
Yes, exactly.
It's really slow, but he's really sick. He's just all messed up.
But he's like, I can keep going, going.
And his skin is like peeling and stuff. And so they're all kind of getting sick and weird stuff. The two pilots end up dying, horrible deaths somehow. Dhoom realizes that Galactus has the power he needs to fuel the ship. Dhoom realizes that what he can do is he can use the suit he found as a conductor for the electricity.
Okay.
And if he connects himself to cables and stuff, he can be a conduit in order to have the power. But he also realizes that he has created himself a device that allows him to absorb Galactus's power and shoot it back. Because apparently his suit that he creates is really powerful, apparently, in the comic books. So I'm trying to figure out some way that they end up having to battle Galactus, who wants to leave the planet. One thing I was thinking is at some point along the way, Sue ends up, something happens to her on the planet that changes her a little bit, but doesn't make her invisible. The thing that ends up making her invisible is when they're fighting Galactus at one point, Galactus tries to shoot a black hole, and it hits Sue and disintegrates her. She just disappears. But later on, you see her starting to come back together.
Okay.
The combination of the planet and what he did to her,
and Galactus's powers,
has given her the power to bend light and create a force field.
Sweet.
So she's able to create a force field now, but she doesn't quite understand it. Meanwhile, Johnny Storm is starting to figure out he can fly and do different things and shoot fireballs. Like, they're trying to understand their powers. She ends up using her shields to help them. A whole bunch of shit happens. See, this is where it's really confusing. Bad stuff happens. Doom is trying to use Galactus's power. Galactus shoots Doom. Doom gets all this boost of energy, fires back at Galactus, blasts him away. He's trying to fight the Fantastic Four. So it turns out he created a transporter. He now has enough energy, but it can only transport one person one time. And Doom wants off the planet, and he doesn't care. He says, I want off the planet. He wants to, whatever. He wants to go back.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't let him leave. So they're trying to fight him. Meanwhile, Galactus wants to leave. And they're like, well, if Galactus gets out of here and goes to Earth, he will... Because they find out that Galactus destroyed that planet. Galactus is the reason why that planet was destroyed.
So if he gets back to Earth, they're going to destroy... Yeah. He's going to destroy Earth, pretty much.
So in the end, what they do is... There's a bomb in here somewhere. There's a bomb. For some reason, at some point along the way, and this is for the bean counters to figure out the logistics of this story. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Ben was given a big bomb, like a 50 megaton bomb or something from Doom. And he's told if things go tits up, blow up Galactus. Blow him up.
Things go tits up. Here's a 50 megaton bomb.
Exactly. Reed realizes that they can't allow either of them to get to that transporter to get off the planet. They end up somehow doing something to get Galactus' attention. They end up throwing the 50 megaton bomb in the thing. They blow the thing to shit. Sue encases them in a force field.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it on purpose. She does it because she's like kind of scared of the explosion, and just her love creates a shell around them,
her love.
Just like Groot.
Her love shell.
She creates a love shell around them,
including Doom.
And no, Doom gets blasted as well,
and it the suit kind of melts onto him.
Sure, but it blasts him. He ends up getting power from the planet. Basically, he can create his kingdom on the planet. That can be in the next Fantastic Four. Guess what? Guess how they get off the planet?
How do they get off the planet?
Sue has her force field. She lifts them off the planet back to the ship because she,
I think,
encases them in
love.
I
think she can create the force field, and then Johnny can push up against the bubble and push them
through the atmosphere.
Up. Yeah, he can push the bubble up.
I love that idea. That's a great idea too. But I was trying for the life of me to figure out how the hell are they going to get off that planet if they destroy their only means to get off. And I thought she can create a bubble.
She can just float around
that has oxygen inside of it.
Yeah.
And Johnny doesn't seem to need any for some reason when he's Fire Guy. So that's a good point. Yeah. So she ends up pretty much saving them in a lot of ways. Of course, there's a lot of action. Reed uses his elastic ability. The Thing is punching stuff and clobbering.
Yeah.
Galactus apparently is supposed to be super powerful. But you know what? For our Galactus, maybe he's not. Maybe that 50 megaton explosion or whatever it is, maybe that gives him more energy to become this creature.
Stronger.
And at some point, the information that Dhoom had been sending back to the Latvians, they create their own portal and come there to get Dhoom off the planet at some point, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So he ends up getting off the planet, but not in this version. This version is just this. Because not every single goddamn Fantastic Four movie needs to have Dhoom die. He doesn't need to die. They battle him all the time.
Or have him as, like, the main villain just for the first movie. Like,
exactly.
Every version.
So that's my version. My version takes place almost primarily on the planet. All the action takes place. Because, you know what? It was all over the place. It was on the planet, then it was off the planet, it was on the planet, off the planet. I would have loved to see them explore this alien planet, but they never did.
Yeah.
What a great idea, eh?
That
exciting.
That was a much better script.
I'm all sweaty.
Yeah. So,
thanks, man. So so if they had just had Bruce Campbell and a cameo,
we'll let you decide on the cast, I guess. Just any black guy. Slowly rotating black man.
For all of you listeners, please put your comments. Is that a good idea? Bad idea?
Next time we'll read your fan mail.
Yes, we know who you are.
Mail.
Yeah, and what are we gonna do next? Who knows?
Who knows? It'll be a surprise.
Yeah,
for all of us.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.